Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, whenever you're watching this training session. Thank you so much for joining this meeting on intercultural competence. I initially planned to present this live via Zoom, but due to some changes, I will be recording this session alone. Even though this is a recorded session, I want to make sure it remains as interactive as possible. So throughout the training, I'll be asking questions and giving you prompts to think about it. So please feel free to pause the video at any time to reflect on these questions and write down your thoughts. Having a pen and paper or a digital note-taking tool, whatever convenience for you, will be very helpful. So yeah, thank you so much for joining. Before we begin, I would like to take a moment to read the land acknowledgement. Portland State University is located in the heart of downtown Portland, Oregon, in Multnomah County. We honor the indigenous people whose traditional and ancestral homelands we stand on, the Multnomah, Catlemet, Clackamas, Tumwater, Watlala, bands of the Chinook, the Tualatin, Kalapuya, and many other indigenous nations of the Columbia River. It is important to acknowledge the ancestors of this place and to recognize that we are here because of the sacrifices forced upon them. In remembering these communities, we honor their legacy, their lives, and their descendants. So, why are we reading the Land of Acknowledgement? Reading the Land of Acknowledgement is an important practice that recognizes the indigenous people who have stewarded this land for generations. It acknowledges their enduring connections to the land and their ongoing contributions to our communities. By doing so, we pay respect to their history, cultures, and traditions. Now, I understand that land acknowledgements can sometimes come across as performative gestures. It is crucial to recognize that mere words are not enough. Our intentions here is not to simply check a box, but to open a space for genuine reflection and learning. So, as myself, who is non-native inhabitants of this land, it is my responsibility, and if you are non-native as well, it is also your responsibility. So it is our responsibility to accept and be open to receiving whatever the indigenous communities have to share. This means actively listening, educating ourselves, and supporting their calls for justice and equity. By truly understanding and respecting their perspectives, we can work towards meaningful reconciliations and solidarity. So let's us approach this land acknowledgement with sincerity and a commitment to learning and action. So we must honor the past, recognize the present, and strive for a more equitable futures. So yeah, today agenda will cover a range of essential topics to help us understand and apply to our basic intercultural competence in our daily lives and work. So the first thing on agenda is, of course, this is not live Zoom, so we're not going to do introduction, who's in the Zoom meeting, but we'll dive into a brief meditation to center ourselves and to prepare for our learning journey. So yeah, so that after that we'll dive into culture, and racism, biases. We'll begin by exploring the fundamental concepts of culture, racism, and bias. And understanding these concepts is crucial as they form the foundation of intercultural competences. And then we'll dive into what intercultural competence means after that, and why it is important, and how it can positively impact our interactions with others. And then we'll also engage in activities to enhance our understanding of intercultural competency, followed by quizzes and videos to reinforce our learning. And we also will discuss practical applications to help us navigate intercultural situations more effectively. So yeah, so make sure to have a pen, paper ready, and then also please feel free to take break during these sessions because we will talk about a lot of intercultural competence in practice. where there will be focus on real world scenarios and examples to illustrate how intercultural competence can be practiced in various settings. And then we'll take some time for reflection, allowing us to process the information we've learned and consider how can we incorporate these concepts into our lives. And last but not least, we will end with a quiz. There will be a lot of quizzes, not only one quiz. So just a heads up to assess our understanding of the topics and covered today. And I encourage everyone to actively participate and keep an open mind throughout the sessions. And please, 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 please remember this training is a starting point for continuous learning and growth in intercultural competence. And that is why it is called basic intercultural competence. The learning doesn't end here. So please remember that. All right, so we'll go to next slide. So the next slide is basically housekeeping items. Of course, we're not, live Zoom training session. So feel free to pause anytime. And then this is going to be a very long training session. So I highly, highly encourage that. Feel free to take a break and take care of yourself. And someone who can't sit in 1 hour or 2 hours training sessions and learn everything because you have to take care of yourself. And so that's why I would say that the only housekeeping item is basically take care of yourself, pause anytime yeah, you need to. So that's all. And then we'll go for next slide. All right. So before we do the 10-minute meditation, and please find a comfortable, quiet, and place that where you will feel ease to do this 10-minute meditation. You may ask, why are we doing meditations and how is it relevant to the training? If you have this question, that's a great question. If you don't, that's great as well. But to those who have the questions, I will say this, that meditation is crucial in any modern work environment as it helps individual achieve calm and clarity essential for effective decision making and managing stress. It also promotes emotional balance, allowing workers, when I say workers, meaning I'm specifically talking about Portland Peace Team. And it's everyone too, right? To maintain a compassionate approach in high pressure situations. And I cannot think of any other folks besides Portland Peace Team folks who work on the street in that kind of pressure situation. So meditation is very important in that moment, as it also fosters self-awareness, helping individuals recognize their own biases and reactions, which is also important for practicing empathy and effective communications. And enhanced communication is another benefit, as mindfulness improves listening and interaction skills, building better relationships with colleagues and folks that you meet day to day on daily basis, right? Additionally, meditation reduces stress and prevents burnout, maintaining mental health and overall well-being. So the focus and presence cultivated through meditations enable whoever's working on that high pressure situations to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, enhancing their overall effectiveness and productivity. So now take a moment, 10 minutes of your time to click on this YouTube video and do the meditations. All right. I hope the 10-minute meditation was helpful. And now we will slowly transition to slide 6. This is slide 6. As you know, this is slide was meant for live Zoom sessions, but it doesn't mean that we can't do interactive sessions. So I would like to invite you to take a moment to reflect on your cultural identity. Please consider jotting down your thoughts on a piece of paper, more like journaling. Here's a couple of prompts that I have it on here, like where are you from? Are you from Portland? Are you from different state, different country? Share anything that you feel is necessary about your cultural identity, and then we will see you all on slides. Next slide. Thank you all for taking the time to jot down your, um, your identity and where you're from. And even if you didn't, it's okay. And I really appreciate that you're still here with me. And then on slide 7, where I'm going to introduce myself and share a bit about my background. So, hello everyone. My name is Hamida Del Mohammed. Today, my goal is to share with you my experiences as a Rohingya person and what I have learned through my research on basic cultural competence, which might assist you all in some way during the Portland Peace Team work. So I have a quick question for all of you. I'd love to know what you all think of my introduction and if there's any feedback and if is it too vague, too long? Was it detailed enough or not? What is your reaction? And please jot it down, and then I'll see you on the next slide. All right, so for now, I'm going to introduce myself again. Hello, everyone. My name is Hamidudin Mohammed. I go by she, her pronouns. My visual description is I'm a brown South Asian woman with mid-length hair and light caramel highlights. And I'm currently wearing a blue puffy jacket in my apartment living room. I'm a graduate student at Portland State University in the Conflict Resolution degree program. I am proud to say that I am the only Rohingya person in the graduate program at Portland State University. This is not because I'm unique, but rather due to the fact that our people were scattered throughout the world as a result of ethnic cleansing in our home country, which has led to high illiteracy rates among the majority of our population. Today, my goal is to share with you my experiences as a Rohingya person who has worked with a diverse community of Portland for a decade, and what have I learned through my research on intercultural competence, which might assist you all in some way during the Portland Peace Team work. I speak 5 languages, and my hobbies are dancing and drawing. Now, what do you all think of this introduction compared to the first one? Is it too long, very brief, vague, detailed, not detailed? Please take a moment. Please pause this video if you would like to jot it down. And then as you pause this video, I will continue to um, answer some of the questions that you may have. Why did I show two different introductions, right? So the purpose of showing you two different introductions has many reasons. Please pause this video and think of second around the intercultural implication of the first introduction and second introduction, which might have been appropriate in some cultures, but not for others, right? So if you didn't understand my first question, for those of you who have done peace work, peace presence at cultural events or sacred places such as synagogues, churches, or mosques, or have spent time working and living in other cultures, how would the first presentation and the second presentation, when I say presentation, I'm talking about my introduction, my first introductions and my second introduction would be perceived by individual audiences in those communities, right? So please pause this video and jot it down on your piece of paper or in your journal. And as you're doing that, I will provide my thoughts on this. Right? I'm sharing my thoughts. Why did I use this? Right? So everyone can have different perspective on this. So one of the points I'd like to make with the first introduction, or in general introduction, especially in the US, that I would say is fairly acceptable, right? When we often do a little bit of there's a term called elevator speech when we introduce ourselves, and this is from Western concept, right? Western concept of elevator speech. This is a way to establish credibility, authority, and share our experiences. However, in many cultures, this the elevator speech might perceive as bragging, arrogant, and overstating about oneself, right? They might assume that these are, valuable pieces of information rather than allowing them to make their own assessments. For example, in many East Asian cultures, especially I can speak for my culture, my Rohingya culture, this might be I would say the second one might be very inappropriate because second introduction, because it can be seen as boastful and not humble, right? It doesn't wait to earn people's trust, but assume it will be given. Um, so basically, this is a little bit, message that I'm trying to share with everyone who's watching this um, training is that whatever your message trying to be tailored or whatever message you're trying to send out should be tailored to the audience, right? You need to think about what you say and how you say in a way that will maximize positive receptions, right? So this brings us the goals of what we're trying to do today. Recognizing that your intro cultural competence gained from your Poland Peace Team work and other cultural experiences is a valuable and distinct skills that you need to learn to use, right? So I'm going to tell my story with my research, and hopefully it will help you incorporate your intercultural competence as a way to practice. Then we will discuss how to use this intercultural competence for greater competitive advantage as you present yourself as Portland Peace Team ambassador at cultural events or on a daily basis when meeting people from different backgrounds. So this is not my goal is to not to tell you all that you all will feel, oh my gosh, like I learned so much. No, this is my goal is to like this is the first step, and then I hope that you all will continue to learn more after this training and keep improving yourself and keep growing and yeah and keep doing great work that you've already been doing by being in Portland Peace Team. And yeah, so I will go for next slide and then I'll see you then.